insects, like aphids, can destroy plants and crops. But other insects, like ladybugs, eat the aphids.
One thing we really focus on in kindergarten is scaffolding them from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, getting them ready to be mature enough to have those kind of academic conversations, to really think about themselves as learners and think about what they need to be able to do and know and understand as learners. Metamorphosis is when something, it has a, do you remember what it is, Sam? A big change. So most of our units really kind of build on each other. So at the beginning of the year, you wouldn't necessarily see us creating an entire unit with kids. We kind of start small with things like, let's create the collaboration anchor chart, and we really kind of work with kids and get their words and their ideas of what they think collaboration looks like. And we build kind of on those ideas and having their input so that by the end of the year we can get to the point where, with some boundaries and guidance and structure and that sort of thing, we can lay something out there for them. If I have one here, then I have to have
one there.
One there. So for example, what we're heading into next as part of our systems and patterns in nature unit is basically have kids choose an animal that they would like to research or an insect that they'd like to research, and kind of have them tell us what the components of the rubric would need to be. For example, you know, how would I know that you knew the parts? What type of project could you do that would show me that you know that? So that kind of their voice and choice meets that kind of collaboration, so that with that guidance and structure, they help us create a unit that works for them.
And 6 legs has an insect.
I learned about insects. I learned that they have 3 body parts and they change in 4 different ways, and they have keen sight, and each eyeball moves in every different directions.
If we can give them those little pieces of voice and choice and kind of connection to a topic and to what they want to learn about, then they have more ownership and they're more excited about it. They see themselves as a learner, they see themselves as a researcher and a scientist and a mathematician versus somebody who just sits at school and does what the teacher says. Everybody say abdomen. That's right. Believe in yourself and believe in your kids. Believe that you are the teacher and the leader who can get kids to where they need to be, and that those kids are ready to do what you want them to do. And when you just kind of believe that together and you work together, you can get where you need to go. And often in the primary grades, you kind of hear people say, oh, I don't know what that would look like. That's kind of scary. I can't imagine just a room full of chaos letting kids do whatever they want to do. But it's really those structures and that guidance that we set up in these primary years that allows them to be much more independent the older they get. So if you can just believe in your ability to do that and their ability to take it and run with it, you can do fantastic things. And the second thing I would really say is just don't be afraid to let yourself get messy and dirty and maybe fail a little bit, and let the kids kind of move through that as well, because sometimes that's where the best things happen. Sometimes kids come up with things that I never could have come up with, and those make the units and the projects and all those kind of things all the better. Head, thorax, abdomen. And I feel really good about what we're doing here as a primary team that gets kids ready so that when they become middle schoolers and high schoolers, they have that foundation and they're ready to do all those fabulous things that, for example, our 5th and 6th graders are doing. They really take the reins and run with it, and they can do that because we've set up those foundations early in the kindergarten and 1-2 years.